Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. Today I'm going to show you how I made these hidden journal spots. Now you could also convert them into pockets if you wanted to, but I thought this would be a fun way to make hidden journal spots. So these open up like that. I have two of the closures on one and one on the other, so they just intersect and close. I did put buttons on these. I have a whole bucket of Grandma's buttons. So I did use some of those, and I'm going to show you how I made those. But if you don't have a bucket of Grandma's buttons, I do have them as just circles, faux buttons, and they have the same setup where they do two on one side, one on the other side to close them down. Now, this is obviously thick, but if you saw a recent video where I had those expandable pockets, look at that. They fit really well in there, even with the thickness. So there you go. Now, the other thing you could do, if you don't want to put them in a pocket like something big like that, you could glue it down to a page, two sides to make a tuck, or glue the whole thing down, and then once it's glued down, you still can open it up, have a writing space, close it up, nice and hidden. It looks like a shirt with buttons down the front. Yeah, fun. All right, so let me show you how I do these. All right, I forgot to mention in the beginning that this is 6x6 paper that I'm starting with, so a great way to bust your 6x6 papers. I do have still listed in my eBay store a pile of 50 random 6x6 papers, so if you're looking to add some fun, different papers that you don't have, check that out. Link is below. Now, these are single-sided white, but the one that I did here was double-sided, so it was a little thicker. So I had this papers. I'm not sure where I got these from, but they were double-sided. So you could do the double-sided, a little bit thicker. The single-sided white back is usually much thinner, but both will work. So let's start with this one. This is going to be a set, and then this is going to be a set. So we're going to get my scoreboard, and I'm going to score it at 1.5 inches. And I'll flip it around and score it at 1.5 inches. So it is going to leave a 3-inch tag pocket, whichever you want to call it. And we're going to fold it. And it's okay if it's a little bit open. Most of the area gets covered with the buttons or something like that. If you don't want it like that and you want to just, pull it up a little bit. What I would suggest though is to not have it really touch, because they don't like to close flat because they bump against each other. All right, so I need there it is. I've been looking for my bone folder, and it's hidden somewhere. Now I bone folded it down, but then I also reversed it to not break the fibers, but just relax them a little bit so that they will lay flatter when you put it like this. So if you just do the one side, it wanted to pop up. So it's popping up a little bit, but once you start adding the stuff to it, it ends up getting a little bit lower. Now the next thing I did was I just created the collar for the faux shirt. So I just took the corners and fold them out. You could do straight, you could do a little bit more of an angle, make it a little more fancy, however you want to do it. Come on, there we are. We're just going to do it like that. Try to make it look like it comes to a point. And there we go. Now, if you don't mind the white on the inside, you can stop there. But if you don't want it to be seen, you can add some stuff to it. So I'm going to add a little bit of a stencil to it. And I do have some blue. And I'm going to use Chip Sapphire. Now this is definitely darker. And I don't know. Take my yellow one off. Now I'm only going to stencil to where that fold is because I just want it hidden in there so that when it opens, it does leave most of the area that can be easily written on. But then this also gives you a guide that you don't, if you don't want the hidden journaling to be seen, you don't write above where you've stenciled, because then when you close it, it's hidden. So I make a note of where that's at, and I just make sure that it is going to be stenciled right to that point. I don't want it too dark. I'm trying not to press too hard. Just a light haze of blue. Now you could put some stamps on here if you wanted to. You could add another piece of paper if you wanted to. Yeah, that's good. That just nipped off the color from it. You could use a stamp, like a dot stamp on there. Yeah, you could pretty much, however you want to make it look not as stark white, works. All right, I'm gonna glue the collar down. Now you don't have to if you don't want to. If you want the texture of the collar sticking up, then by all means don't glue it down, but there we go. Now get this glue art put back, and we'll go from here. Now I'm gonna just put this on here so it stays close a little bit till I get the glue on it. Now for the button ones, for this button one, I didn't glue the buttons directly onto there because, and I pulled one out, because it was not really a flat back. There's a little place to put some glue, but I need to glue, we need to glue half of the button because we need to glue half down and half not down, because otherwise you'd close the thing. So there wasn't really an area to glue. So I decided to cut circles out of using this circle punch. I think this is like an inch or 3/4. Cut circles out to lay that down, and then glue the button on there, because then I could put glue on the whole thing, because it's not going to close the part up. Now I did also punch out circles for the back just to give it a finished look, so you don't see the circle that's just on the front. But for these that I picked out, I have a pretty flat back. So I think I'm going to be brave and put these on here on their own. This one has the original string, probably it was a coat at some point. So I'm going to keep that on because it just has a little fun texture. But we're not going to do the other ones. I'm going to put that in the middle since I only have one with the string. So I'm going to use fabric tack to put this down. And like I said, I'm going to try to glue the half. Now what's nice about these two dots is you could go and you know that this is the side that needs the glue. Now I always try to put a little glue into the hole, because when you put fabric tack in the hole, it squeezes up into it and makes it want to grab a little bit more. It might be hard to see on these, but see a little dot of glue peeking out, and it just ends up grabbing onto it a little bit. Okay. Now we're just gonna make sure we're not sticking. We have a little bit sticking out. Okay. All right, so the bottom one, now the way that I also did it is I would do the two outside ones, and then I would do the center one, because then I can make sure that it is equal distance, because if you glue that one there and then like, oh, you want to glue that down there, it looks weird. So this way, if you put this second one, then you know it's easier to center it. Because it doesn't matter where this one goes, you can always find a place to center that. Okay, so we're glued on that side. We're going to make sure we glue on the same side. We want it to intersect with each other or cross over. Now you probably could put them all on one side, but I just thought it was kind of fun, and it kind of locks it in place to do it that way. All right, so I got a little bit of a bubble popping up. And we're gonna do this one. Now, this one's a little harder to do bubble because it's not got the string, so we're gonna put it on that side. Come on, I'm running out of glue. I'm getting near the end here. I'm gonna have to get some more. There we go. All right, so it's going on that side. And we're gonna do our best to center between the two. Now this definitely takes a while to dry, but we're gonna, oh, I wanna lift this side up first. There we go. Gonna get rid of that glue. And we're just gonna put that back down right there. All right. Okay. Probably could have put a little bit of like a wax paper in here or something, a little plastic, just to make it be a little less possible to glue itself down. But I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to let them dry like that so that the gravity is pushing it down. Okay, for the second one, I'm going to use this as the shirt, I'm going to call it, pocket. I'm going to use this as the buttons. So we're going to start by doing the scoring on this. Once again, starting with a 6x6 and going 1.5 in and 1.5 in. Holding it in. Make sure it is overlapping a little bit. We're gonna pull this side back here. Now, if you were brave, you could probably try to just fold this on your own. There we are. Okay, do a nice fold, and then we're gonna, once again, fold it to the other side just to loosen up the fibers. Okay. And is there an up way? These look like they're heading downward, so we're going to pretend this is the up way. All right, we're going to go ahead and do a little pocket, or a little collar, not really a pocket. And I might as well use the same stencil. This has some glue on it. Nothing wrong with that. And should have enough ink on there, hopefully, to doing this too fast and it's shifting on me. We're gonna go ahead and do it one more time. I wanted it light, but not that light. Now, is it gonna match up? No, but I think the first one was light enough that we're not gonna even notice. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I like that. Okay, so for the buttons, I'm going to use this paper and make buttons. Do my best to center this. I'm gonna probably have to skip a couple here. So I'm gonna need 3 for the front. And 3 for the inside, and I don't really care what the inside necessarily looks like, so we're just gonna go in between here. Get that. And one more. Okay. So we got front button, back button, back button, front button, and back button. Okay. So we're going to do the same process. I'm going to just lay this down here just to keep it closed. And we're going to put the 3 buttons on there. Now I'm going to just ink the edges of these ever so slightly. Just get rid of that edge of white. All inked. I'm just going to use art glitter glue on this, but again, we are going to make sure that we just do one side for it. Now, I have this little sideways thing. Now I can go up and down with it, or I could go sideways. I think I kind of like the up and down, or I'm sorry, the sideways. Yeah, I think I like the sideways. We're gonna go like that. All right, so we're gonna do the first one, and we're gonna just put some glue on the side, and do our best to center that. And again, we're gonna do the bottom. Do the best to center it, and my best to center it is I'm trying to look at this line, trying to look at this center of the daisy. All right, so for this one, we need to do this side. There we go. And do our best to center in the up and down and center top to bottom. Now I picked 3 because there's always that little saying that you want to do odd numbers, so I thought 3 was a good amount. If I had tinier things, yeah, we could probably do 5 buttons. If you had tinier circle punches, this is the only circle punch I have besides a little regular tiny punch like the crocodile tiny, and that would not work. Okay, so there we go. We got those on there. Now one thing I forgot to mention, like I said, I did do these with the flower punch. But for these, you probably can tell, they were clear stickers that I put onto, there's a central one, which is the dark green, but this one was a sort of colored piece of paper. So I had 2 different kinds that I ended up putting on there. And the stickers I used were from this collection. I have kind of from Temu a long time ago. They were little squares of clear PET stickers, but they're tinier things, so they fit really well on here. So if you've got something that you can punch and have a focal point, that works well. Or if you wanted to add stickers to it, or you know, maybe stamp a little, you have little butterfly stamps or something you want to stamp on there and decorate those, you can do it that way to make your own faux buttons. Okay, so once those are fairly dry, we're just going to go ahead and glue the backs of these. Now for these, I'm going to glue the entire back and do my best to match it up to the front one. Just to seal it in. Now you could leave that if you want. I just think adding this extra inside button just finishes it off. Yeah, it just gives a little fun effect versus that. And putting this on here, I do my best to glue that on there, but you can see like right the edge. I could go back and put a little bit of glue on there just to make sure it's all the way to the end. But putting this on there really does seal the front to the back together a lot better, so that hopefully they don't come off. Especially if you are using actual buttons on there. You want to make sure that there's a back on there just to give a little bit more strength to the circles in the front that have actual buttons. Okay, so those are done, and there we go. Now it might take a little bit for it to, especially the ones without buttons on there, to stay down, but you can, with a little bit of effort, a little bit of folding, you should be able to get it to stay. Now, if you wanted to make it just a tall pocket where you stuck something into, all you would have to do is go ahead and put some glue on the bottom and glue it together. And then I would just, you know, go ahead and glue those tabs down circle-wise. But I think the fun part is having a secret hidden journaling spot. Easy to close, easy to open for that. All right, so back to the other one. Look at this one with the buttons. Now, this one does not have the paper on front, but if you want to make sure that it stays a little better and want to add a paper punch to it, it's probably not the worst thing in the world. I might just use these, and I think I might go ahead and try to pick, once again, whoops, flung my stencil. I think it'd be cute if I had those in there. All right, so we're gonna have to pick and choose again. Yeah, that could be fun. I don't know if it's gonna totally stay on there because the buttons are a little concave, but we'll see. We will see, that's all we can do, right? All right, and third one. Okay, so the question is, do I put Fabri-Tac on there or this? All right, I'm gonna start with this only because it does go, dries a little faster and I won't have to hold it. I think it might actually work. It might take a second for it to grab onto it, but I think it'll work. All right, let's go ahead and glue those on. Now this definitely is not a journal for everybody. If you don't want to put the bulky stuff in there, then this might not be for you. But obviously there are flatter buttons out there. This one I picked just happens to be a really chunky button. But I have like this mother of pearl one. It's pretty flat. Something like that would be fun to put on there. So yeah, there's definitely flat ones out there. Just happen to grab these two. That one's pretty flat in the back. This one's pretty flat. Not a little domed on the front, but there are definitely some skinnier ones that you could use for that. Okay, we got those two. Let's get this side. Now these button parts can be a little bit harder to write on areas like that, but you definitely still have quite a bit of an area in the middle here to be able to do your little secret journaling from. All right, well the buttons moved when I glued them down and opened them up. Those two stayed okay. This one got a little bit wacky, but it is what it is. So maybe I would say a hint to do it is to put the top two on there, let them completely dry so that you can reclose it and open it, and then do your last one. It's kind of hard to do it on camera, but it has its own little personality, right? Let's see if I can put a sticker on here. Wrap it around. Good life. I think I do the good life. I'll cut this off. This is part of those washi books that I recently got. You're probably tired of hearing about them from me, but I love them. I love the size of them, and I love how they're very clear when you put them down. You can see through them, as well as they're not shiny. Not that I'm opposed to shiny as I did with those other things, but I like that they are washi stickers that aren't shiny. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna put that right down there, and we're gonna live the good life. The two that I made off camera beforehand, I also put washi stickers on. I think I'll put that up there, and I'm going to just nick the corner so it looks less new. And also put some ink around that. And we'll put this up here. Oops, not there. So it's not a lot of room to decorate some stuff because the buttons are a bit in the way, but definitely some place to be able to put some stuff. I could put a nice tall skinny flower there if you wanted to. You could actually put something and wrap it around, especially if it's a tag that you're going to pull in and out. If you're going to end up gluing it onto a page, probably don't need to wrap it around, but cute. That one really, these buttons really hold it down. So yeah, so if you had a scrapbook page that you want to attach it to, two sides, you'll be able to attach it in there, be able to write and close. I love it. Or again, use the pockets. Doesn't necessarily go with this color, but nice bulky fanny pocket. This fits in there so easily. Right? Cute. I love it. Okay, well, I think that is going to be it for this video. A couple fun ways to make hidden journaling spots using button type closures, be it real buttons or faux buttons. Cute. Just do what I say, not what I do. Especially on that. And there's a little glue still drying, and I just squished it out. There we go. Got it back in its hole. Okay, well, that is going to be it. If you like the idea, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'm working on the series of Scrap Busters, Bust a Scraps. That has been really fun. I still have quite a few of those to work on. And I like to come up with ideas like this. Fun, quick projects that can inspire you to make your own. Now, I'm not saying you have to make your own exactly like this, but take this as inspiration and make your own version. Yeah, that's going to be it. Okay. As usual, I appreciate each and every one of you that has stopped by, and I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.